Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Monday, November 10th, 2025. We just finished with the Crypto Bros Mistrial on Friday. You can find the book, Crypto Bros Mistrial. Code is Law lives on. And we'll have more on that. In fact, here's a crypto update. The case against Michelle Bond, growing out of the guilty plea of Ryan Salam of FTX, will have an appearance on November 20th by Danielle Sassoon, then a prosecutor, and called initially by the defense of Miss Bond, and then they didn't want to call her, but now the U.S. wants to call her. She's now joined the firm of Clement and Murphy. That should have been mentioned, I think, in the announcement. But November 20th, be there or be square. Now, we're turning to baseball. Of course, the season is over. The Dodgers have won in the 11th inning of the 7th game, but the legal cases are just beginning. On Sunday, it was announced and it was unsealed that two members of the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians, that is, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, have been indicted. And in fact, Ortiz was arrested at Logan Airport in Boston. Personally, I think maybe it wasn't going to be unsealed until today, but Mr. Ortiz was at the airport. So things moved fast. The case is still sealed. We want to cover it. It's listed as sealed. We have the complaint. We put it online. This involves sort of like the prop bet case against Terry Rozier. It involves small actions for relatively small money, actually, compared to the salary and of Emmanuel Clase. Once one of the finest closers in the game of baseball, he's getting paid like $7,000 to throw a ball in the dirt. In one case against the very own Dodgers, he threw the ball low, but Andy Pages swung at it anyway, and so the guy lost money. There was a lot of joking online. The text messages seem pretty damning. We'll see if they can name people further up the chain. We're going to be covering that. It's EDNY. EDNY is on fire. We've got the NBA case and the MLB case. SDNY. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, as we turn the corner, we're going financial. Now, of course, on the big picture, we're looking at Fifth Third. We're looking at PNC. But we're also looking more locally at Texas. Texas is a hotbed of mergers, and there's almost no oversight of any of them. The regulators are giving away the store. They're shortening comment periods. They're eliminating public notice. And so Fair Finance Watch has jumped into the scene. Prosperity Bank, Cornerstone Bank, something called National Holding. We're on the case. That's all I can say. You can find all of this online. And now the United Nations. We have 3 scoops over the weekend. First, as to South Sudan. Last week we published the hit list of firings, because they're supposedly cutting all of these missions by 15%. The problem is, to reach the 15% number, since they're totally exempting Tony's cronies and big shots, including those who never show up to work like Nicholas Haysom in South Sudan, it's mostly lower level staff, sometimes national staff. And for some reason, they leaked the list. So we published it in South Sudan and then received over the transom that they've done exactly the same thing in the Central African Republic. Maybe it's a plan. Maybe it's a plan to leak these lists. I don't know, but we've published all of that. We've also have a series of photographs of a big deal in UNMISS in South Sudan, a guy who took 2 double-wide trailers and put them together for a massive mansion, sort of reminiscent of Abraham Gambari in Darfur, which we wrote about in the book Banking on Dictators, about BNP's big loss. They're now claiming that the plaintiff's lawyers in that case were somehow sleazy, so we're covering that as well. Finally, Volker Turk, the head of the UN's Human Rights Agency. What a joke. This guy is only laying off small guys, keeping his friends, wants to move to Vienna. We've put it all in there, but Antonio Guterres bans Inner City Press, even as he parties in Brazil despite the slaughter of the favelas. But we're going in. It's another week, including habeas. That's our new project. To be continued.